Hello guys, two cats video production continue our broadcast. It's a live show. It's 5:03 Eastern time, and here are all the people who wants to understand what's going on in political wars and Republican wars. What's understand what's going on in our country, what's the changes, and a little bit more for people who wants to change the political situation, who wants to change to help us to change world around us. You can help our show. You can send your donation. So PayPal, we have a link in our description, and also we have ZELLE, and you can stay our members because it's important to our company to share the information and explain what's going on in political wars and make for you more clear how to understand that political situation can change and what can we do for that. Live show with Carla Spalding. Carla Spalding on the line in our studio, TwoCats Video Production. She's here, and so we try to welcome you and say some a little bit about you. And this is the live. So unfortunately, we have technical issues with Carla. I think she's reconnected and she's back to our studio. So we have a chat here. You can ask the question over the chat. This is the live, and you can ask your questions to Carla Spalding, who is running for Congress from Florida State. And also we have a link, and you can use this link and you can go live with us and you can ask all the questions to Carla. Carla, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi, hello. So let's talk about a little bit about you, why you're running for the Congress, and I know your slogan is "Without freedom, we have nothing." Oh, this is very right words. This is very right words. Actually, without freedom, we have nothing. Now, maybe we can talk a little bit about critical race theory, because that's very important. That's so un-American, and I think American people, American parents, they not accept a critical race theory. That's perfectly, and you also you serve as a Navy before, and I want to say thank you for that before we begin our conversation.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show again. And let's talk about me for a little bit. I'll tell you, I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, and I came here when I was 18 years old and joined the United States Navy. So from there, I developed really a strong bond for the country, and I ended up going into nursing and worked at the VA hospital. Through that experience, I realized that our veterans really needed more assistance. So I decided to run primarily for Congress because of that. But then once I decided, I realized, oh my goodness, there are many, many issues that are affecting our country and our constituents that are not really being addressed, or there's really no true solutions. So I am running for Congress now, hoping to make a change with the loss of our freedom from restrictions. We should really have the right to be able to live the life we want to live and not be dictated by anyone else. So as for the critical race theory, I call it the critical racist theory.
Oh, that's right word. because it's that the country is changed as soon as Joe Biden came to the White House. It changed very fast, one year, and we see the changes.
Yes, I agree 100%. As we discussed prior, that there has been nothing but destruction, just destruction one after another. And I'm really concerned about that. And I'm hoping that the American people will realize that something is just not right. Why are we paying so much for gas? Why are we paying so much for rent? Why are we paying so much for mortgages? Why are we paying for all these different instances that are occurring? We need an answer. And neither him, Biden that is, or Kamala, or Nancy Pelosi would give us the truth.
Who's give us the truth? What we have to change? Because we know we have to change that situation from the very low level, not from the high level. Because the presidential level do nothing. We know that's very important Congress election in 2022, and also very important the local elections as well. Tell about it a little bit more.
Well, you are correct when it comes to the local level. Republican tends to not focus so much, especially in my district, on the local level. They're more concerned with Congress, governor, and the presidential election. But we have to remember, even as a mayor, they make decisions for the entire city. And it's not Congress. For the school board, it's very essential that we have people with morals and with true gift and really want to help our students, and not sending them in a different direction other than what the parents want. Our parents truly invested in our education from the islands. And here in America, in Florida, I think that's what we ought to do. And we've been straying away from that because of the critical racist theory, because we have such liberal people in the school board, and they're the one that's really teaching or steering our children. In fact, I have to tell you this. I saw an article a couple of days ago where they have in an elementary school, Satan, a church for Satan. How do children at that age really know anything about Satan? And it's acceptable on the school ground. And I just think it's wrong. So we have to gear ourselves up for 2022. We have local elections coming up in March, in July, and November and August as well. So find a candidate to support and support them all the way through.
The question is, so many situation with the make the small children's very bad feeling about the color of the skin. I mean, the good example, the parents, the dad is black, but a woman, ma'am, is white, but children, she has just like a middle more the white color of the skin, but the people around in her school tell her she is the racist, that there's a small girl, she is the racist. She came back to home and she is crying, and she said, "Mom and Dad, what's wrong with me?" They ask, what's wrong with you, why are you telling that? And she telling, "I am a racist." But why it's possible to make that feel for the children bad in our American school? Why the White House support that? I think that's a pure racism when they supporting that, because I think, my personal thing, nobody have to feel that feeling, especially in her age, that actually they do nothing, that's only because of the color of skin. So we just back to, or maybe I don't know, maybe 100 or more than 100 years ago for that time when that happens. But for now, I think that's horrible what Biden administration just divided us and do everything to, everything what I call the pure racism itself.
Well, a part of the reason is also the organization, the Black Lives, the Matter movement. The organization itself has really done damage to the Black communities because they set an example as if all of us are like that. And that's from the farthest away. We don't believe in that. However, and for whatever reason they're doing that, obviously it's a political movement. And the people in our district and around the country, Blacks are not necessarily going to be treated any differently than Caucasians or Chinese. We are Americans. That's how I see it. And we all should be treated fairly. And one last thing when it comes to the racist theory, why not elevate them? Why not teach them of all the inventors, Black inventors that we've had? Why not teach them about true history, the true American history, and not the critical races that they want our children to be engaged in? And you know what I'm afraid may happen later on in life when these little children are now adults, it starts right over again, because they're going to remember how they were treated when they were younger and had to suffer the consequences of the grown-ups who are, to me, anyone who say you're racist, they're also racist themselves. That's usually the last resort they turn to. So, you know, it's something that we're going to have to live through and try to change.
So we unfortunately cannot see you because some problem with the connections. We can only hear you. But the other questions is, I don't know. Maybe you can fix the video because we just only see your picture on our screen. Uh, but we want to really see you, your eyes. You know how you answer in that, because I know you're
How
very
is that?
beautiful, gorgeous woman.
How is that? Did we do it?
No, maybe you reconnect this. Okay, if you reconnect it, that's gonna be great. Just please reconnect. We are running live, guys, because it's honest. If you have a technical problems, you see that technical problems. Yes, Carla, you back, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, but we still does
Still
not
here.
have picture. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, no worries. Yeah, let's continue. So you hear me good, well, right?
Yes, I hear. I can hear.
So another topic of the situation, because the very radical left politicians, they want to make more and more involved to how we grow in our children's. They want to make some political views on our children's, or even we have some proposals what some politicians told you: if you are growing not right your children's, we should take away your parental rights. Or even you're not vaccinated as well, we also can take it away. What do you think about this, and what is your suggestions in that situation?
Well, to start off with, we have to remember where we came from. And we have to remember what brought Americans and what led Americans to be able to be Americans. That is so important. We cannot forget that history. We have to go back again to the foundation. What happened even 20, 30 years ago? I came here at that time, and America was not like this. Parents still had a choice, they had a voice. But with this new age, they're trying to take away again back the right and our freedom to be able to do what we want to do and how to raise our children. So do like Virginia did, went to the box and voted those people out, which is fantastic. So that's how we can get involved at the local level. You're able to see what's happening, go to parents' meetings, and every so often make sure you're following up with your child or your children. What are they learning in school? I can remember when my son came home and his assignment was to read can't remember exactly the name of the book, but it was Underground Gods. So I told my son, he's not going to read that. If we can't read about the Bible, then you can't learn about anybody else's God. So his teacher was not very happy, but in the event, I gave him a book called The Secret.
Oh, I cannot hear you. We also have a bad reception with the Carla. Yeah, guys, the technical issue with this situation, but this is the live show, and it happens sometimes. But Carla back. I see her. She is back, and we can continue that. Uh, still having technical issues, and waiting her back. So I just when we try to fix that situation, we see the Carla email address, Carla Spalding. You can send to her any and ask any question to contact her campaign. She is running from Florida State to the Congress, and so I think she's Republican. She's Republican, of course. Yes, Carla, she's back. Yes, Carla, can you hear us? No, unfortunately, no. No, there is no connection. The poor connection with her. Okay, we try to connect her. Try to take her back to our show and ask a question, guys. Questions, because that is so very interesting to have information from the insider. She's running for the election. She know everything how it works, and the whole situation about the Republican parties inside. We just the first time we spoke with the Carla, it was on Thursday. It was Thursday, right? So, and she's got some conversation with the people who just came to and who wants to meet with her personally and ask the questions. And it was very great speech. She told about what's going on in Biden, why the situation is changed. So many things about critical race theory, so many things about elections, how it works, why some, the Republican establishment does not support the people who is running for that elections, and so many interesting things about the Canada convoy protest, so many interesting things about the local elections, because we all faced on the fraud around us, and we have to be against of that fraud. We're not allowed to stall our election. We're not allowed to take over of our children. We have to grow that up, and we have to do something with that critical theory, because it's very important thing. It is very important thing. That's our future. We have to do something with that. So we try to connect back Carla back, and as soon as she's back, we can continue our show. Just give us a couple minutes to try to fix that situation. Hello, Carla, can you hear us? Hello. Okay, here you are.
I'm
And
actually,
we finally can see you. Oh god. As I said, I'm not liar. She is a wonderful and gorgeous woman. So that's more interesting to see you, how you looks like.
yeah. Well, I'm glad to be here. And I want to talk about one good thing that people have been kind of ignoring, which is the over 40 million Americans suffer with anxiety. And it's costing us over $93 billion a year. And what they have instilled in us actually is fear. And as you know, fear paralyzes an individual. So technically, they're not functioning as the way they would normally. And that's what this administration has done. They have instilled fear and controlling to control the population. And it's time that we say no more. We're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to shut our country down. We're not going to cause our children to stay home and teach themselves because the parents have to work. And that's the end of it. We have to say enough is enough and move forward with our American lives. And those who are not going to represent that, then we need to vote them out coming up in August and November. So that would be my advice to all of you. And I'm looking forward to representing the people in Florida, South Florida, which is Broward County and parts of Dade and Miami. So please get a chance, look us up. And if you can help us in any way whatsoever, please do so. Thank you so much for having us on your show.
And another question I want to ask you, because we talk about critical theory, but there is also the other thing, the very scary thing, it's a cancel culture. That's, I think they just force it to cancel not really culture, but cancel us who remember the old style of the life to do something with our children's and explain them there is no old style of their life anymore. There is a new life. They try to cancel books. They try to cancel so many movies, so many arts, and so many people, even politicians. People, we know the good example, Donald Trump. They want to cancel it. What do you think about it?
Well, they do that all day long now. The least thing you say about, especially Biden, they either take you off the page or they completely just lock you out completely. It's concerning because we're able to express our thoughts and our feelings normally and not be condemned because of that. And where they're heading, I'm so happy now that we have an opportunity in August and November to change that. With more Republicans in office, I think we stand a much better chance to save our freedom, to save our Second Amendment, to save our health care and our children. That's
Second Amendment, that is very important. At the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And we see it, your slogan for your campaign, without freedom, we have nothing. Maybe you can tell us a couple words about the Canada Freedom Convoy situation, because it's not only about Canada, that's about and USA as well, and about all around the world. People try to protect their freedoms. And we know that Justin Trudeau at that very moment in Parliament tried to make force for the Emergency Act and try to, do everything to stop that peaceful protest, because it's a peaceful protest. It's not like a BLM protest we had before. But nobody from the politicians do something to stop that. Even Justin Trudeau being with the BLM protesters. But what's problem with the Freedom Convoy protester who wants to protect our future, our economy, and our, logical things, that our, situation when we have to protect them ourselves?
Well, it started off with the truck drivers, as I said before. And it's amazing how they were able to mobilize so many people to stand up for their own rights. In America, we have to probably do the same thing, because we can't look and say, well, it's not going to happen in America. Overnight, things can happen. So I am very thankful that they're standing their ground, even though they're, but did you hear that they were also freezing their accounts?
Yes.
Not able to do what they need
Before that Emergency Act was accepted
Correct.
by the,
Correct. So that is just unconstitutional. Like they shouldn't be allowed to do that. So I am concerned in America for the same thing, because a lot of people think it's not in America, so we don't have to worry. But we're far from that. Look at Australia. Australia has actually lost their complete freedom. And they have camps that they were actually putting them in. The division between vaccinated people and unvaccinated people, the rich against the poor. And it's just not American. And it saddens me to see that people are afraid to speak up. Some are even afraid to even admit that they're Republicans because they don't want to suffer the consequences. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. And I'm ready and willing to stand up for what is right for you and for myself and families.
Are you afraid of the election fraud? Because even our meeting the day before yesterday, the Democrats say, "Oh, yeah, it's okay. Don't afraid about the fraud. We never got it before, but we actually got it in the Sunny Isles on this election. We got it on the November, and we see nothing change. Nothing's changed. The people who count the votes, they try to do it one more time. You're running for the Congress. Are you afraid of that? Because you have to accept this rule now. Because if you win, the opposition told you, okay, you accepted, that's right, and but if you don't, you cannot say it's a fraud because they said you accepted it before. You actually does not have any options. Tell us about what do you think about the fraud election and what how you protect yourself from the fraud.
Well, what I am relying on is Ron DeSantis, the governor. He's also on the ballot, and he has implemented several things that should help minimize the cheating. And one of which is they're not allowed to just drop off ballots in numerous amount in a drop box. He has changed that. They're working on cleaning up the roll, which they started already. And you just have to have confidence and just show up. We need more poll watchers that are Republicans. We need to have more people involved. If you get involved, then I think it would be a lot easier. The more people we have that are honest to watch is the better chance we have.
So you're talking about the watchers, volunteers who came for the. What about the people who has power to came? I mean, some senators, some politician who came for the voter polls and who really can change the situation and see if some bad things going on. He told, okay, we stop the vote this ballots, for example, or if they have got some internet connection or something, common things. What's happened usually even in New Jersey, it's happened. It's the same scenario, and then when they use this time when they count the votes. They
Mhm.
just stop counted and started see what's the difference is, and then start to count the ballots came from the mail, and start to falsificate this process. See how many percent they have to falsificate and do this, and that's very easy.
I know, but again, we have to hope and pray that these new guidelines that they have for integrity, that they will just honor those things because it's really out of our hands. If you see something that doesn't look right, then there's a hotline that you can call, the number. So let's see what happens. There's nothing else we can really do. It's up to the higher beings, and we just have to rely on the new things that they're implementing for us to follow.
Okay, when Joe Biden told about HR1 vote, for the people voters without ID cards and blah blah blah, he told one thing. I remember that he told, "Win who count the votes," and he repeated twice.
Mm.
So that is means if Democrat count the votes, there is no chance for Republicans.
Again, that's why we have to make sure we have more Republicans in there as well at the polling station. Watch, they have to, because if not, at least they can, if they see something that looks fishy, they can go ahead and at least make the call to the attorneys and they will investigate it. I don't think they will try as much as they did before because now they know we're aware of it and we are watching. Believe you me, we're going to have plenty of people watching. So thank you so much for having me, and
Thank
hope
you, Carla.
I'll come to your station next time. I'll come. That
Yes,
about
definitely.
next.
Yes. And we can create the good conversation with you. We can continue. Thank you. Remember, guys, we have an email of Carla, and you can actually send questions to her. You can send any, if your concerns, you got her email on the screen. Thank you, Carla. We're really looking forward to see you again next week. And also we wish you the win. And please win for us and protect our rights, because we really need that gorgeous and wonderful woman as you to protect our rights in the Congress and the rights in Congress.
Thanks to you and your audience as well.
Thank you, Carla.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.